Now, away from that traffic update, we still focus on matters of transport and safety. But now, focusing more on matters of road safety. It is said that human error is one of the main reasons, actually the main causes of road carnage. To take us through this conversation as to what is, the emerging trends and as far as road safety is concerned, is none other than Safety Plus Group CEO, Mr. Alfayo Otuke. Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you, madam.
Asante. Now that we're here, we already know that human error is largely to blame for what we see on our roads in as far as road accidents or what we term as road carnage is concerned. Then, as a person who is already in this value chain and a Safety Plus, how do we deal with this menace?
Right. It is true that human error is the cause, is the greatest cause, not only the cause, but the greatest cause of road traffic accidents. There are several ways we can address this particular matter. One way is to provide education. What we are doing here is part of that education. We can extend this education to young ones because they become strong ambassadors for tomorrow. We can do it right in schools. It is in this country that we don't have even the traffic course being tested in any level of examination, be it primary, secondary, or even high institution of learning. So if we embrace and have a safety culture right at the family level, right at the organizational level, like now here in KPC, even in a state level like the country of Kenya, then we will not be talking about solving the problem of human error.
Talking about passing on this information. Some while back, we had a proposal, to have motorists do a refresher driving course, to just try and stem the runaway, road carnage that we're seeing. Would this be a step in the right direction?
Oh yes, every career you must progress. It's only driving that people take a course, taking a few weeks, and then you proceed for the entire life.
Yeah, most people argue that if you learn how to cycle,
yes, you
will always know how to cycle. It never gets out of your system. And I think we have equated cycling to driving.
No, not really. Cycling is different. Cycling is more or less like walking because it uses the human engine, it uses the human energy. But then, as I said earlier, every career needs development. Yes.
But now, if you're talking about, enhancement and such, there's also been calls to streamline the public transport sector. And now keen focus is on the matatu industry in itself, because statistics clearly indicate that a majority of these particular vehicles are either the causes or are involved in this, road accidents. From a stakeholder point of view, then, how do we rein in on this sector?
Well, matatu industry has been a problem in this country for a long time, long time. And there's been several interventions from even government or even stakeholders themselves to alleviate the problem that we see. I think I want to find the genesis of the problem we have in PSV sector to the qualification of people involved. Education is key when we talk about safety. If you have someone who has not been to school well, the formal education I mean, he may not be able to understand some few things. And then when we even have business people who sell motor vehicles to this sector, not even organizing a single seminar to even educate the drivers on how to use a particular machine. You remember all these vehicles are not locally made. They come from a distance. And somehow along the line, those mistakes can emanate from failure by the driver to know how to use a particular machine. Remember our curriculum, a driving curriculum, it talks about how to drive. It doesn't talk about models that come on our roads. So when we talk about the chaotic nature we see in the PSV sector, it's both contributed by people themselves, the operators, and even the government. In a large extent, It has taken the government many years to come up with an integrated national transport policy, which again can streamline the industry. What comes up, whenever the government makes an attempt to introduce anything that can save a life, it is resisted. People organize strikes. You have seen strikes in this country all along. I think Kenya is becoming a nation of strikes every now and again. So when a government, and you know a government is a few people, then the multitude is me and you out there, do not support the government. It cannot succeed. In the year 2005, had an opportunity to be part of the National Steering Committee, which was working under Ministry of Transport. Our mandate was basically to come up with recommendations on what the government ought to do in this chaotic industry. One of the few things we recommended is the establishment of National Transport and Safety Authority. You remember before it was National Road Safety Council, which was being toasted between ministries. This year, financial year, you find it in another ministry, the other ministry. The same problem we looked at between that period, 2005, 2009, before NTSA was launched. This is the same problem we have now. You can see I'm trying to talk about how even the government contributes to the failure in the sector. We essentially, under the World Health Organization, there are funding. There's some funding which come to organizations like NTSA. Kenya doesn't get that funding because one of the requirements is it should be under Ryan Ministry. And Ryan Ministry here is Transport Ministry. But as we speak, it is under Ministry of Office of the President. So that tossing that agency from one ministry to the other loses the caliber, loses the focus. And the main problem, it has no funding.
It's not domiciled in the right ministry. Other than that, there's an issue of formalizing PSV sector. You know, we have seen SACCOs coming together and operating certain routes, left, right, and center. But if we were to formalize this sector and have an inclusive approach then in the PSVs, would it go a long way in addressing this issue? Because
not really.
We find ourselves the strikes and all that. We suffer as a majority of us. The strikes, we don't get to work. There's so much suffering, especially to the consumer point of view. Formalizing.
Yes, passengers have a lot and the problem that emanates from the sector. But let me tell you, when the former Michuki Waziri came up, implemented proper, not came up with. You know, every Kenyan say Michuki rules as if Michuki came up with the rules. Michuki found the rules, implemented them to the letter. Now we refer them, and actually you people love calling it Michuki rules. When he implemented the rules, we could see order. Kenya was, at least for the first time, we took a side, and then people like the most vulnerable, expectant mothers, young children, and the elderly could easily use the PSV sector because it was ordered. But immediately those implemented, the enforcement went down a little bit. Then the chaos came in. Let me just remind you a point. The government, in its good intentions, came up with a requirement that all matatus be grouped into associations, which we call societies, as you have just mentioned.
Yes.
Now, what happened? Immediately the crooks who were supposed to be removed from all the stages, because you could imagine a situation, you are traveling to Kakamega today, you have children and you have luggage. Then your luggage goes to another bus, children to another bus, and yourself, you find yourself in another bus. Yeah, that's the problem we had at the commonly known as Machakos Country Bus. So the government intervention was, let us group these people into small formations where we can easily manage them. What happened? Crooks also,
the goons also coalesced together
quickly and registered the societies. So that problem we are trying to alleviate actually moved to another more organized level. So the government found itself in a very complicated situation. This is a registered person, properly registered. There's really no way you can deal with him unless now you are under his mercy. This is the reasons why you find even now the solutions on the matatu industry has not been achieved.
Talking about solutions, let's bring in Boda Boda.
All right.
That's where we are going. That is where we are. We're not even going. We are there.
Yeah, we find ourselves.
We have seen, let's give an example of CBD. We had some laws and regulations that, barred them from accessing the CBD, but we're still finding them in the outskirts of the CBD itself. Any accident, any situation you find a boda boda in, the vehicle in question gets torched, it becomes unruly, people get hurt, some of them even die. How do we tackle the boda boda menace?
I have had very good solutions for this, and I've not had a forum, but as I mentioned them here at KBC, the way the government is implementing the problem is it may not give us good result. I agree with you that even right here outside the city of Nairobi, which is one of the biggest cities in Africa, it's chaos. These guys are there. They look like thugs. If you look at one of them, they are dirty. They are not in a mode we can really want to use them. They are very expensive. You try to move from maybe my railway area to here, you can pay 500. It's a motorcycle, you can imagine. And they force you to pay that particular. I can role model it with Kigali in Rwanda. Had an opportunity to go there. And then we went, actually this is the same time we went with the former governor here, Sonko, and the director of the president, to see what we can copy from Kigali to Nairobi City. You realize the time when Sonko was doing some gardens around here, although implemented wrongly, but in Kigali, this order, my friend, you'll find those border borders. If you agreed 50 shillings,
it is 50
and
shillings.
you go to a shopping center, you want to buy some vegetable, and you want to buy some sugar, them, they don't increase. It's still 50 shillings. But try that one in Kenya. You go to a supermarket, they can even jump in and embarrass you. You are inside here and you have kept me holding out here. It is very embarrassing. So a solution, the problem started when the former president, Kibaki, zero-rated the importation of the motorcycles into the country. So everybody could afford it. Remember, the motorcycle was about 300,000. So nobody could really afford. It was government agencies, the agricultural extension officers, and so forth, even traffic police of that time. But now when it was zero-rated, it became cheaper. 20,000, 30,000, you can get a motorcycle, which again, the lifespan is so short, about 3, 4 months, 5 months, imekwisha. So when the government did that, it did not have a progressive response in terms of policy. At that point, they did not see this to come. The intention was good. Yes. Let us provide Kenyans with a solution, especially for those ones who are not motorable, like the Roko areas. There is no matatus. So the government thinking that time was good, that let us provide solution. Remember, it's a responsibility of any government to transport its own people.
True.
Now, the problem came when there was no an intervention in terms of policy. Now, the government finds itself in a quagmire. They are also trying to run against problems, forming a task force here and there, trying to come up with solutions. These solutions cannot. My take is this. You asked me what could be the solution. The solution is this. Let these borders be registered back to the local chief, the assistant chief. You know that where you came from, the village, the chief there knows your mom, knows your dad, knows your brothers. The local chief can be able to register this motor list, the borders. And if you mess, you have nowhere to hide. But right now, traffic police are very few. Look around, maybe, for example, Nyeri, Nairobi Road. They are scattered in small spots. But these people are able to even come nearer to a traffic police, take a branch to a forest, go through the thick, and join the road. Or they can speed past them. There's nothing police can do.
They can do.
Yes, but just as you, before I close, if we register them...
We're not closing. We're just about to take a short break so that we can tackle this issue. Register with the local chief for accountability and transparency. Talking about the boda boda menace in regard to road safety. Take a breather. We'll be right back.